Hey, what's up guys? Glad you could join us once again. I'm Mike from GetVoIP.com. This is week 9 of our weekly recap, and it is December 21st, 2012. I want to start the show off today by mentioning the winner of our holiday sweepstakes, which is Tim Harrison. Tim's a Next to You customer, and he's the lucky recipient of a 16 gig iPad mini. Again, we want to thank everybody that participated. We've got some really great reviews and some wonderful insights that are going to be a lasting value on the site for other people that are shopping for VoIP, and we really appreciate you guys participating. And of course, we encourage everybody to subscribe to our social networks so they can stay tuned for future announcements, and updates, and maybe any other contests that we might have. So, the news this week is actually pretty big and interesting, and it all comes in pairs. I'm going to start with the first tandem, which is a couple of awards from Internet Telephony for Product of the Year. So the first one is going to be Vocalocity. You guys might have noticed our blog. We noted the long list of achievements that Vocalocity has had in 2012, most notably for Vocalocity Desktop. A lot of the improvements they made on their website, pretty much revamping their support system, just a lot of little things that have really gone a long way. So let me mention one that's not so little, and it's really revolutionizing the industry: call monitoring. Now, to barge, whisper, and listen have become terms really common to business VoIP. In fact, a lot of big companies and execs look for it. And I shouldn't say big, because they're really focusing on the small to medium business sector. But call monitoring basically provides guidance during training, customer service, or maybe even rooting out those bad eggs that might not be following protocol. With it, executives can sort of listen in, or they can jump into calls, talk to someone through a call, whether they're going through training or whatnot. It's really struck a chord with the business world, and congratulations to Vocalocity on their developments, their achievements over the year. You guys can go and catch up with them all on our site. There's really far too many to sit here and mention. But again, congratulations to them. And the next piece of news is Phonality. They also won a Telephony Product of the Year award. They are another dynamo in the business sector, of course, and HUD and HUD Mobile have had a phenomenal impact over the course of the year. The web client was in limited release this year, but we're going to see full deployment in 2013. Our CEO, Ruben, and I, we actually had a chance to sit with David Skull and get a first-hand look at the evolution of HUD, the new web client, whatever they're calling it these days. Either way, it's amazing. And when we sat with David, he really guided us through it. We could tell he was genuinely excited about it. I'm personally excited about it. I can't wait to give it a spin. And David even commented on the award, stating that it reflected the pride that Phonality has in their development of products, and they said that they would continue to dedicate themselves to bringing that quality to their audience. So another big congratulations to Phonality, and we look forward to more from you guys in 2013. The next piece of news, the next tandem of news rather, is coming in a pair of patents. Counterpath, they've been awarded a patent for overseeing the routing of mobile voice calls. Now what does this mean? Well, the mobile VoIP market is really pushing forward, and it's good that there's companies like Counterpath who provide desktop and mobile solutions. Things such as the Bria, which really come into play when companies are away from their phones, yet they still need to access their VoIP systems. They might not have access to a certain application on their smartphone or whatnot, or their tablet. So the new patent basically detects and monitors a mobile subscriber's location and automatically routes the calls, either from an IP endpoint or a circuit-switched entity. This means basically directing calls based on parameters like signal strength, availability of free web, etc. More or less narrowing down to 3G, 4G, Wi-Fi, whatever would be most convenient for that caller. And I really see this patent diversifying and spreading across the industry. It's a huge one, and with the proliferation of mobile VoIP use, I think this is just in time to sort of complement that wave. And the next piece of news is from VoIPPal. VoIPPal have also secured a patent. This has been an effort in the making for quite some time. It's the lawful intercept patent, and it's been passed dating back maybe as early as 2007. These applications are part of VoIPPal's agreement to acquire Digiphonica. Let me reword that. Digiphonica have been working on these patents since 2007. They're called Intercepting VoIP Communications and Other Data Transmissions. That was filed on November 29, 2007, and Producing Routing Messages for VoIP Communications, which was filed on November 1st, 2007. So, as of recent, both of those patents, which were pending, have seen complete passing, and both have been amended and submitted, and effectively, the technology will allow for live taps of digital voice conversations. It's been a mark of debate, but again, it's really a coming of age for VoIP, and call it a sign of the times. Voice over IP is truly on the map. Government agencies, more or less, I assure you, will be quite interested in acquiring this patent. I should say more than less, as they really crack down on telecom companies, and they want them more or less to make a little transparency, make their transmissions through their networks available. So expect the FBI and other authorities around the world to really be pushing for this application, for this patent. Next piece of news, the FTC updates regulations on child privacy. Now, kids are on the web more than ever. It can sometimes be an ugly / dangerous place. I can definitely vouch for that. The FTC has stepped in and updated privacy regulations, basically to include smartphones, social networks, and location-based services. COPPA, which is the Child Online Privacy Protection Act, ties directly into the move. And this COPPA is constantly updated to keep up with fast progressing technologies. So a slew of new platforms, including apps and plugins, for example, will notify parents to provide consent before companies can collect personal data or info on children, more or less children that are under 13. This includes audio, photos, videos, locational data, anything that really can be traced back to a child. This is a great implementation to protect children. The thing is, the system sounds kind of faulty in that children will be able to participate in online interactive communities, and parents won't need to actually give their consent. More or less, the FTC is relying on the people who regulate these forums to control them themselves. They're not really going to step in. So hopefully this self-governing works, and people do have morality when it comes down to children's information. So the update's going to go into effect at the turn of the new year on January 1st, and any way you slice it, it is an improvement nonetheless. Alright, the next and final piece of news, Polycom solutions are out. Back on October 8th, Andrew Miller and the Polycom family rang the opening bell at the NASDAQ. He later gave an incredible presentation later that morning where he was showing a lot of the solutions that were still pending and were going to come out. And to be frank with you, these things were so amazing to me that I really didn't picture them coming out even in this year or next year. But as of Tuesday, a big cluster of them have become available. This is really going to revolutionize the UC space, and it's one of the biggest things that is a continual work in progress for Polycom with all of these rollouts is SVC, which is Scalable Video Coding. Scalable Video Coding basically makes sure that devices and platforms are all interoperable, and basically that they're forwards and backwards compatible. Also in this release, we saw Real Presence Collaboration Server, an update to Real Presence Desktop 2.0, Real Presence Mobile 2.0 for tablets and smartphones, Real Presence Groups with smart pairing, 1080p 60 resolution, content sharing, and a bunch of other releases that you can check out in our article. We cover them in detail. Polycom has created things over the past year that you'd really expect to see in the entire industry or over the course of the next 4 or 5 years. They're progressing incredibly fast, really leveraging on existing solutions that they've created and only making them better, like Real Presence. And more than ever, like I mentioned before, the understanding of the importance of interoperability and backwards and forwards compatibility are massive. Covering these two bases, Polycom's really preserved their customer investments, and they're making connecting no matter what the device or platform possible. So congratulations to Polycom, and I really look forward to seeing more from them over the course of the next year. If they don't roll out something big before the year is even out, it's always a possibility with them. And finally, I want to close out the show by saying that our hearts and prayers truly go out to anyone in the Newton, Connecticut community, anyone who's directly involved or affected by the Sandy Hook Elementary shooting. It's a really horrible, tragic event, and as much as I try to even sit through and read the articles, it's truly painful to see that sort of loss of life, especially for some that were so young and didn't really have a chance at life. So I just want to close out the show by putting that out there for you guys, saying that we hope you can remain strong in this dark time. And that'll about wrap up our show. I want to thank all of our viewers for tuning in. We really appreciate all the support thus far, and it's been a wild ride and a lot of fun in even this short amount of time. So again, we really thank you guys for all the appreciation and support and all the feedback. And that'll about wrap up the show. This has been Mike from giftwhip.com.